Cause did you see that video, Ephraim, real quick? There's a video going out. Some guy was, complaining about the healthcare situation, and of course, and this all related to Damar Hamlin and his unfortunate situation, and how the coverage just isn't good, and it is good news. I don't want to start with it, but it is good news that he FaceTime with his team. And he's talking again. This is a blessing, man. It's a miracle because it looked bleak, Ephraim. It really did.
Yeah, it did. And the reality of the situation is Damar is going to be dealing with this for the rest of his life.
Right.
Right.
No,
he can recover, and it'll be great. God willing, I hope that is the case. They said when he woke up, the first thing he wanted to know if they won the game.
Which was very interesting because, you don't even know if he will remember he's a football player. But you know what I mean?
Right. But that's the mentality of an athlete.
Right.
Especially when you get to that level, the only thing he wanted to know is, did we win the game? What's our seeding going into the playoffs? And I was telling my some of my family the other day that if the doctors came into the room today and told him, hey, you're healthy, you're cleared, he'd try to play Sunday.
Yeah, but you'd have to keep him out.
You know what I mean? But that's our mentality. So moving forward, players will always want to play. And he'll be dealing with this for the rest of his life. And the way the current NFL insurance is set up is 5 years after a player retires, their insurance expires.
It's awful. It's just awful. And Ephraim, because you don't play that long in the league, you're young when you retire. Do you know what I mean? And you really don't need, and I'm not saying, you could have issues, but normally when you're younger, you don't really need health care. It's when you get older.
You're 1,000. So once you got to 950,
I'm in the health care, man. I'm all into it. I need my health care.
So I remember I was I want to say around going almost 40.
Right.
And then I get a letter, an email saying, hey, just a heads up.
Your health care is over.
Such and such date. The health care coverage for you and your family, my wife and 2 children, are over. So prepare accordingly. And I've been in the league since I was 21 years old. I didn't even know how to get health coverage.
And when they send you that Cobra bill on what it's going to be, you go, for people who don't know, when you get that Cobra, you're like, are you kidding me?
It's like $5,000, $800 a month.
It's crazy. All right. Hey, Rob G, I want to bring you in real quickly because Ephraim, at first, when this unfortunate incident happened, and afterwards was like, hey, the players, whatever we need to do to make this smooth, we'll be okay with it. And then the NFL came up with this idea of an AFC neutral site game and some of this other stuff, and they're not going to go by the rule book, which talks about going by percentage, right? Ephraim, when you don't play the same number of games for whatever reason. And now the Bengals are pushing back and ain't too happy about what the league has okayed, Rob G.
Yeah, Zac Taylor, the Bengals head coach, was pretty vocal at his news conference today. We tried getting the sound. We had several people working on it all day. Apparently, this is one of those ones that got lost in the ether by the NFL.
Really? I bet it got lost in the ether.
They didn't want to have that.
Maybe did Andy... oh, my God.
Andy Furman?
Andy Furman, he ate it. I'm sorry.
Maybe. But here's what Zac Taylor said. They got people, their panties in a twist, as Rob Parker would say.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, we just want the rules to be followed. And when a game is canceled, they just turn to winning percentage to clarify everything so we don't have to make up the rules. There's several instances this season where the club is fined or people in our building are fined and we're able to follow the rules. It's black and white in the rule book. So now when we point out the rules and you're told we're going to change that, I don't want to hear about fair and equitable when that is the case. Opportunities lost for us. We had a chance to control that, now we do not, and that's fine. But it seems like there's positives for a lot of teams and just negatives for us.
And Ephraim, I'm going to second that emotion because from Jump Street, I just said, I've seen other leagues where people don't play the same amount of games and they go by winning percentage. I just think that's what you have to do. Because once you start doing all this juggling and fixing things and now a neutral site in the AFC Championship game and all these other things, I think you're doing too much. Where are you?
Yeah, you're doing too much and you're causing a situation where there shouldn't be one. Things were in place for something like this, and now for the NFL to try to walk it back and try to adjust it and change it on the fly, that's not fair. You can't do that.
Why is it on the books, right? If you're not going to follow it.
If it's not a rule, if it's a rule, why will we even be having this conversation? For whatever reason, they feel they need to alter or amend the rule for whatever reason, but the people get left holding the bag are the Cincinnati Bengals. And they've played well enough this year for them to – they can't even – under this new thing, they can't even have a shot at the number one seed in the AFC anymore.
And let's just be honest. And obviously, it was the game had just started. It wasn't that old, but they were winning in that game too, 7-3.
And look,
I know that didn't mean the game was over.
Sample size was too small.
Too small, but they were winning.
They've been playing great football from mid-season on.
What did they have, a 7-game winning streak?
They're on fire right now.
Right.
So they went into that game. Weren't they? I believe they were like a point favorite or something like that. Maybe I don't know, but it was a pick'em basically. For you betting fans out there, it was a +1. Either Buffalo or Cincinnati, and anybody
right, but it wasn't
knows
right. It was basically a pick'em.
Yeah, exactly. So they were confident in their abilities and what they were going to do. Monday night, it didn't happen. And now they feel like they're being punished, and that's not right. It's not fair.
Yeah, it is a tough pill to swallow, especially because, like I said, you say all the right things at first. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to come off, Ephraim. Here's a guy almost lost his life on a football field in Cincinnati, right? So you don't want to be the bad guy sounding like, what are you, belly aching about the game and how they're going to handle it. But then when they handle it, you do have issues, especially when there are already rules in place. It doesn't really make sense on why they're changing. It doesn't.
No. I don't know what's behind it.
That was my original thing. Just go by percentage points. Just go by the winning percentage.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you? Like, I don't understand this need for reshuffling the deck, right? Because it's there for a reason. So let's just do it because we've already written the rule for it.
Right. How do you think it's going to play out? The NFL, they've already okayed it, I guess, so you think they're not going back.
When they start going to coin flips to see who gets home field advantage, right. Come on, bro. Like, that's not – it's too much on the line to leave it up to that.
Right. And it's just – I think if you do winning percentage and whatever it shakes out, you just have to accept that, right? Winning percentage, not the amount of wins if you didn't play the same amount of games. And who knows? You know what? All this bellyache and all this talk, what if Kansas City loses this week?
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. Like all of this and they lose, Ephraim, right? And then all of a sudden it ain't the same thing. Like, they're not supposed to lose. I don't know if they're going to. But I'm just saying that would be.
I will say this, man. No matter what, the Raiders always play Kansas City tough.
There you go. No, so that might be one of those. And I know they look downtrodden and they got all kinds of issues. But that might be that they might just put it all together for one day, one game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And we're talking about the NFL's new game plan for moving forward and what they're going to do in the postseason. And the Cincinnati Bengals indeed have their panties in a bunch and they're not feeling what the NFL has decided to do. Do they have a gripe or are they just belly aching babies? We want to hear from you, 877-99 on Fox.
Well, we got Roger on the Odd Couple on Fox Sports Radio. Roger in Tacoma, what you got?
How you doing, man?
Hey, good, bud.
When I heard about all of these machinations about a neutral site for the AFC Championship game possibly. The whole time I'm thinking this morning, why don't they just go with winning percentage, set the bracket, and play it just like normal? Because everyone knows this is an unforeseen and unique circumstance. These two teams will just have one less game, go by winning percentage, play the tournament. Now, the other thing that you make, which is really unfortunate, you make Zac Taylor speak at a really sensitive time with our country. You know what I mean? You make him voice displeasure that he shouldn't have to voice because we're just coming out of the shadow of this guy almost dying. And so I just thought it was overthink. It was meddling. It was just play the damn winning percentage and move on.
Yeah, it is a tough spot. That's why at first, Ephraim, everybody's like, yeah, whatever we got to do. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to be that heel where this guy's fighting for his life and you're belly aching over some game. You know?
Yeah,
but now that he's improving and you see what has shaken out from the league, and now you're not happy.
Yeah, it seems weird. We got Tim in Atlanta. You on the Odd Couple on Fox Sports Radio. What you got?
Chili Tim.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Rob?
What's happening?
What's going on? What's up, Ian? I knew this was going to happen. I was like, it's only a matter of time. Because, like you were saying, like everybody was so concerned about what was going on. You knew sooner or later it was just waiting in the wings. Somebody was going to be disappointed about not getting a fair share. So I agree with that call before. You put this guy, Zac Taylor in a bad position.
Right.
But the Bengals, hey man, it's an unfortunate incident. It could have been your player. It could have worked the other way around. If you're really brotherhood, like you say you're brotherhood, if you're a good team, go in there and just play the game. You got momentum. You're doing good. Just go win. It's just the break. It's just like a bad call sometimes.
But Tim, the thing I will agree with Cincinnati and their belly aching is that the rules already in place. Like Ephraim, that's the issue. Like it ain't like this never happened or they never tried to figure out, well, what happens if everybody doesn't play the same amount of games? You got to have that in your bag of tricks just in case. What could be weather, earthquake, you know what I mean? There's all kinds of things that could have stopped games where a certain team can't play the full schedule.
Yeah, and the rule is there for a reason. Something happened, follow the rule, and keep it pushing. That's it.
Yep, 877-99 on Fox. We want to hear from you.
We got Adam in Idaho. You're on the Odd Couple on Fox Sports Radio. What you got?
How you doing, gentlemen?
Good.
Hey, Adam, do you have your own private Idaho? That's all I want to know.
I can't tell my secrets, my man.
Hey, I want you to know that's one of my favorite songs by the B-52s, Private Idaho.
There you go. And nobody talks about that very much out here anymore.
No? Yeah, that's a song from the 80s, so those people are probably dead. That's why. No.
Yeah, they probably think that's a shot at a bar or something. What's a B-52? I'll take one.
Exactly.
That's funny.
I'll be quick. I think it's kind of ridiculous to put Zach in that position and change the rule. If we're going to flip things on its ear and start making stuff up, let's go play it at a college stadium that houses 120,000 seats. If we're going to go crazy.
Right. You could do all kinds of stuff.
If we're Willie Wim on this, so let's just go crazy. you know?
I don't understand why they would look at the rule, knowing they have it, Ephraim, and just say, it's in the rule book. There's no debate here. What's the debate? It's in the rule book. We're going by percentage.
Sometimes people like to complicate situations and then try to solve the complication to feel or add more value to what they're doing. Like, I solved the problem. Well, you actually created the problem first and then solve the problem. So in reality, are you a problem solver or a problem starter?
Exactly.